eastern United States, as well as many other things going on. So stay around in the video if you want to figure out who will be impacted and who will not, and how you will be impacted. So anyways, let's jump into the video. So we're taking a look at the ECAIFS model, and this model has shown great accuracy. This model has shown great accuracy as I believe it's newly developed, but it has shown pretty great accuracy. So taking a look here, this is November 13th at 6 a.m. You can see we still have lingering cold around for the Northeast and the Great Lakes. While we do also have a ridge building in the eastern United States, and it's a pretty big ridge, and it goes all the way from the Pacific Northwest all the way down into the southeast here. You can see the jet stream as it builds here, and then it kind of evens off into this trough here. But we do still have some relatively cooler temperatures, as we still have this northwesterly flow. And we also do have this high pressure, though, that's going to help set up this ridge. So taking a look as we move on, let's see. There we go. Let's go to about here. Let's go to about 6 a.m. on November the 15th. We still have this ridge building in the east, and then we have this trough moving offshore. Now, we do still have some cooler temperatures for the northeast here, like areas in Maine down through New York here. But overall, we do have some warmer temperatures overall here. And then we do have this kind of high pressure setting up here. Maybe some high pressure trying to set up right here as well. Let's see. Now, this model does not show snow, it just shows precipitation. So this could be snow. I just don't know if it is or not, because this model does not show snow. So taking a look here, let's take a look at this. So you can see the trough. Let's see. Let me kind of highlight it here and see how it is in the next hour. This is 12 p.m. on the 15th. And let's see. If we move it here, it's moving down. And that was on 12 p.m. on the 15th. And you can see where it was there on 12 p.m. on the 15th. Here it is on 6 p.m. on the 16th. It's very far south now. On these areas experiencing some cooler temperatures. Now, this could extend down into these southern areas, but they may not see as big of an impact as these areas further north. And you can see this low pressure setup kind of thing here. I'm kind of wondering if we could see some sort of nor'easter here. Not guaranteed. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, just saying maybe not because of the way it forms and everything, but definitely see some kind of impactful storm. Now, here's another thing I want you to take a look at. Notice this storm. Notice this storm that's going to come off of the Rockies here. So let's take a look at that. It kind of combines with this low pressure system, as you can see. And we may see some severe weather with this, especially in these areas here. We could see some, whoa, that's not what the area I meant to highlight. It was this area. We could see some severe weather with this here, as we do have a 1003 millibar low here. It's also kind of on a ridge trough setup here, you can see. Not very defined or sharp, but it's just something to take note of. Here, as you can see, that storm kind of just lingers around as this massive ridge builds over the west here, with a little bit of a trough trying to develop here, as you can see. A little trough trying to develop, Mainly cooler temperatures would be over the northeast in this case, but here we can see an even more intense storm with this low pressure system. And here we do have potentially some cooler air trying to funnel in behind this, and we do have kind of this ridge out ahead of it. So the jet stream being like this could be some kind of severe weather setup. Um, you can see the most intense storms at 12 a.m. on the 21st would obviously be in this area towards the Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas region. So let's continue moving this along, and you can see some really intense storms starting to develop, even some yellow here. Now, keep in mind, um, the shade is just like the precipitation amount, but generally with the heavier rain is the more the worse storms. Though that's not all the time, so you can't just look at a radar and say this is where a tornado or whatever is going to be, but you can kind of see where the moisture is that can help the severe storms to develop. And as you can see here, the we do have some northerly flow here, so that's something to keep, or southerly flow there. That's something to keep an eye on. Um, here you can see we do have this more defined setup here. We have this kind of thing in the jet stream here. And then we also have this ridge trying to develop over top of it. So this would allow funneling of heat and moisture up ahead of this line of storms. Now, this is not guaranteed. We're just taking a look at the possibilities here, as this is pretty far out. This is 6 p.m. on November 21st, which is in 8 days. So as of the time I'm recording this. So generally, forecasts start to get less accurate after 7 days, so this is just some possibilities here. Now, after that moves out, we do see this thing I'm talking about for Thanksgiving. Watch this. You can see the ridge over the east and the trough over the west here. Now, as this is allowing cold air to funnel down from the polar regions, or whatever you want to call it, you can see this low pressure system ahead of the trough is trying to build in here. And you can see that this trough tries to eject out to the southeast. Now you can see this trough would be pretty massive, so that means it would probably linger around for a while, because the bigger the trough, the slower it moves generally. So as you can see, we do have some ridging building off the west coast here. And then we also have some troughing trying to build out in the central and eastern United States. As you can see, a very defined trough here. Here's kind of the axis of the trough. It kind of is swinging around this way. So I believe this is what they call a positively tilted trough, I believe. So anyways, I believe this is about as far out as it goes. It is, and you can see in the final frame here. Let's see, this is 12 a.m. on the 28th. So 12 a.m., I believe this is Thanksgiving Day, if I'm correct. I don't know, maybe it's the 27th, but 12 a.m. on the 28th, we do have this this massive trough trying to go down to the south. And then we also have this low pressure system. This would kind of be like a cold front type setup with a warm front over top. Now, I don't think this would be severe weather, because a majority of the storms would be in cooler weather. Now, if we can see, I'm trying to see if we can see the temperature here. Okay, here we have it. Yeah, that storm system that I was saying would not have the potential for severe weather would be up here, and that is in 40-degree temperatures, which is not very suitable for severe weather. As you can see, we do have these 30s temperatures out ahead of this trough, and then we also have these 40s temperatures way down in the south here, probably pretty below average. And you can see, like, 8 degrees up here, 5 degrees, 0 degrees even in the Rockies. So areas that would be staying pretty warm would be like areas that would be staying pretty warm are like these very far southern areas here, as you can see. Also here in Arizona and then Texas. I mean, obviously this is pretty late in the year. This is almost in December, so obviously it's going to be cold. So anyways, let's take a look at the GFS model. So let's see, this is the 27th, and it is in fact showing this Thanksgiving storm here. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. Let's see. It is in fact showing this Thanksgiving storm, so let's take a look at the let's see. Okay. So here you can see the rain and snow. So let's take this all the way back to 12 p.m. today. You can see we do have still some snow showers and mixed precipitation in the northeast. Now, as we move on, you can see this ridge I was talking about building here. This is actually a really similar setup to what was going on in the other model we just looked at. Let's see. As we move on here, we have this low pressure system over here with not really sure if this is associated with it or not, but some heavy bands of snowfall across Nebraska here at around 6 p.m. on the 17th. Now, as we move on, you can see this system kind of moves off here. And then we do have this other system, that very intense system, 995 millibars, 993. It just keeps dropping, but probably going to be some heavy snow on the north side of that. And then some just general rain on the south. Now, something I'm going to be keeping an eye out. I believe this was the same system we saw in that other model here for the potential for severe weather. Let's take a look at that, and let's take a look at the temperature. So let's see. This is the wrong map. Let's see this one. Yeah, this would be suitable for severe weather as far as temperature goes. We have 60s and even up into the 70s in the south here. We have the lower dynamics. Let's see. Maybe it's under moisture here because we can see the yes, dew point. Yeah, it's pretty good in the 60s here, the dew point, and it keeps raising further north. Let's see if I can see the let's see. Okay, here is the convective available potential energy, and you want at least 1,000 cape, and you can see here that's definitely 1,000 to 1,200. So I would say that if anything, as far as this model run goes, the area that would be impacted by severe weather would mostly be down here, because this is where the suitable environment would be. And of course you have to take in all those factors about like how it could definitely change, because this is still 7 days out. So this is where forecasts start to get a little bit murky with everything. And you can see how that storm system moves out, leaving behind somewhat cooler air, but I did not even do that. But anyways, leaving behind some cooler air. As you can see, generally more zonal flow, which is basically where the wind is just like regular west to east, like you can see here. Like these lines here are generally more flat. So maybe some warmth across the south, but I would say pretty close to average temperature-wise for these areas. As you can see, this Thanksgiving storm I've been talking about definitely has some potential. As you can see, after that system moves out, we have some a very deep trough here. And we do have this snowfall, so we do have some energy within here. So if it aligns up with this energy at the right time, let's see. If it aligns up with this energy at the right time, and the trough is a little bit more further south, we could see a storm system with areas all in here, potential for snowfall. So this would be a very big area of potential snowfall if the trough shifts a little bit further south and it collides with the energy at just the right time. So anyways, that's enough time talking about that. Just gonna try to go quickly through the rest of this video since I spent a lot of time talking about that. Now, I do have this marginal risk of severe weather through portions of Ohio and Pennsylvania and even far northeastern Kentucky. This would be on the 15th. And taking a look at the Weather Prediction Center day one outlook today, you can see we have this kind of thing building out here, this ridge building out west. Now, we also do have somewhat of a ridge building out here in the southeast with this high pressure system. And then we have a lot of different things going on out here. We have some mixed precipitation, particularly for the higher elevations. And then we have snowfall for the lower elevations. We also do have mixed precipitation and potentially even snowfall for the high elevations out here in the northeast. And taking a look at tomorrow by the Weather Prediction Center, more mixed precipitation in the northeast, potentially snowfall in the higher elevations. Same story out here in the northwest. Most of this mixed precipitation and snowfall is going to be in the higher elevations. And day 3 outlook, let's see, this would be on, Sunday, I believe. No, not Sunday. This would be Saturday. You can see we do have some potential for rain showers out here in the eastern United States, particularly in the Ohio Valley. And then we have in the northeast a potential for some freezing rain and mixed precipitation. We could see more snowfall in the higher elevations. And then also we could have some mixed precipitation in the north here. So also some mixed precipitation, higher elevations mainly, I would say. Snowfall potentially in the higher elevations of these areas. And then generally just rain in the lower elevations of these areas out west. Now, taking a look at the Climate Prediction Center, we do have, this aligns very well with what we're talking about. Above average temperatures possible in the east, more than likely what's going to happen. And then we have this below average temperatures out in the west, as we were talking about that trough building out west. And then eventually, as we get toward, Thanksgiving, let's see if this will pull up here. Now, this is the 20th through the 26th, and as you can see, I don't know if it's not like the most defined thing ever, but you can see that little bit of eastward push out into the east here. And you can see how that kind of falls back there with the potential for above average temperatures. Now, precipitation-wise, pretty much everywhere is going to be above average. I believe that's the same story with the 18th through the 22nd outlook here. Now, moving back to the 20th through the 26th, so if we did have this system, it would have plenty of time to push down to the south. So let's take a look at the National Weather Service Watch Warning Advisory. You can see out east or west, we do have some winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings out for the mountains, mostly just like the highest elevations. We do have some coastal advisories or warnings off the coast here, and that's about it. So if you enjoyed watching today's video, please leave a like and subscribe, and you should check out EpicPen. For just $2 a month, you can get the pro version or you can get the free version. But with the pro version, with the free version, you get pen eraser, highlighter, screenshot tool in 16 colors. But with the $2 a month version, you get pen eraser, highlighter, fading ink, highlighted cursor, shapes tool, text tool, whiteboard and blackboard screenshot tool, and you also get 24 colors, which is more colors in the free version, easy license management, and you get great value. So anyways, thank you for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.